Kids have like an hour left. So get extra comfortable, kids, because after that, y'all gotta go. It's a wrap for y'all, because this thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all don't want to come to. Okay?
It's on you, nephew. Take that top card. When I die, I want my last words to be, I did it.
As y'all already know, Sean Diddy Combs just can't seem to catch a break these days. And now there's one wild question taking over the internet. Are there actually pictures of Diddy's alleged prison attack going viral? Or is this just another PR stunt cooked up by Team Combs to shift the narrative?
Your parties are the hottest ticket around.
They won't even give me a permit for the parties, man. They don't want me to throw the parties no more. But we ain't gonna stop. We gonna keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life. You're gonna hear about my parties. They're gonna be shutting them down. They're gonna probably be arresting me.
Now hold up, don't get it twisted. Diddy's been pulling every string possible to get out of that Brooklyn jail, but waking up with a knife to his throat. That's a whole different level of chaos. The story came out of thin air and instantly blew up. The streets are talking, haters are laughing, and conspiracy junkies are out here connecting dots that don't even exist. Some folks swear this so-called knife attack is just part of a much bigger game Diddy's playing behind bars. But let's be real, to even make sense of this madness, you gotta rewind, because this didn't start with a knife, a rumor, or a viral headline. It started with one thing: Diddy wanting out. Let's be real, Diddy's been absolutely miserable since the day he got locked up in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, one of the toughest federal jails in the country. This place isn't some cushy white-collar prison. It's chaos on a concrete schedule. We're talking inmates getting their lives stolen. Yeah, that kind of chaos. So when people hear MDC Brooklyn, nobody's thinking rehab. They're thinking danger, survival, and flickering fluorescent lights that never sleep. Now, Diddy's doing 50 months, just over 4 years, for transporting people for prostitution. Not trafficking or racketeering, as he dodged those charges. But 50 months still hurts when you've spent your whole life on private jets and penthouse views. He's already done about a year, but you can tell every second feels like a slow burn to him.
It's a bigger picture to it. In the world of music, I gotta get up every day and do a bunch of that I don't wanna do. I gotta bite my tongue and I gotta do it with a smile on my face. But I do want some cheesecake.
And trust me, his legal team has been making noise. His attorney, Tenny Geragos, straight up blasted Judge Aaron Subramanian, saying the man acted like a 13th juror and punished Diddy for crimes he didn't even get convicted of.
So you think he did none of these things? He was never present in any of these activities? This wasn't his lifestyle?
But a lifestyle and being present in activities doesn't mean he committed a crime.
Unless those activities and that lifestyle are criminal.
But those activities and the lifestyle is not criminal.
Meanwhile, Diddy's probably sitting in that cell thinking, how did I go from champagne to cold trays and metal toilets? But here's the thing, this whole saga isn't just about a fallen superstar. It's about control. Diddy built his empire on calling shots, being the boss, and always having the final say. Now he can't even decide when the lights go off or what's on his plate. And maybe, just maybe, that's why this so-called knife attack feels different. It doesn't sound like a random scuffle. It sounds like a move, a setup, maybe even the start of something much bigger. So here's where everybody just completely loses it. Diddy's longtime friend, Charlucci Charlie Finney, decides to call up the news and drops a bombshell. He says Diddy woke up with a knife to his throat. Yeah, that kind of headline. The type that makes you stop scrolling mid-swipe. But here's the thing, Finney didn't say when it happened, didn't say who did it, didn't even say how it ended, just that it happened and somehow Diddy's fine. According to him, if this guy had wanted to harm him, Sean would have been harmed. It was probably intimidation, but with Sean it won't work. Sean's from Harlem now, that's when the story starts to smell off, because Finney didn't drop a single name, date, or detail. He told it like he was pitching a movie, all suspense, no substance. And the timing is a little too perfect. This story hit right when Diddy's lawyers started begging to move him. Let's be honest, if you're trying to convince a judge you're in danger, nothing helps like headlines screaming someone tried to slice your throat, and Finney's bias is loud and clear. This man's been Team Diddy since forever. He's defended him harder than half the fan base combined. He called Diddy a lovable caregiver and unbreakable. And when asked about the claims he brushed them off like that was just a guy and his girlfriend freaking off. That's it, period. At that point, it's hard to tell if Finney's defending his friend or auditioning for PR Manager of the Year. Because when your best friend's out here spinning your charges better than your actual lawyers, something's definitely getting lost in translation. Still, let's not dismiss it completely. If Finney's telling the truth, that means Diddy's living through real-life hell inside those walls. So the question now is, what's really happening behind those bars? Let's not pretend like MDC Brooklyn is some church camp. And when it comes to Diddy's type of charges, it gets real ugly. Prisoners don't forgive or forget that kind of label. Even Finney himself said it best. The prisoners take it personal. They look at it like it could have been my mom, my auntie, my daughter. They try to get what they call prison justice. Inside those walls, Diddy isn't some Grammy-winning mogul. He's a walking symbol of power, money, and everything inmates feel society lets rich men slide on. So if someone wanted to send a message, who better than him? And here's the part that really makes you squint. Months before this supposed Blade scare, Diddy's lawyer Brian Steele already told the court that a guy was caught with a shiv trying to reach Diddy for clout. So this whole knife to the throat thing could just be round 2 of that same script, only this time the story hit headlines. Still, if the jail's really that bad and all signs point to yes, then you can't exactly blame Diddy's team for panicking. Every headline makes their case stronger. Get him out before someone actually finishes what the rumor started. And this right here is where the whole thing starts smelling like strategy, not coincidence. Diddy's lawyers didn't just wake up one day and say, let's get him help. Number. They filed a motion to move him to FCI Fort Dix. That is basically the chill cousin of federal prisons. Low security, family visits, rehab programs, and even outdoor rec time. Compared to MDC Brooklyn, it's a paradise with fences. On paper, they said the transfer was about rehabilitation and mental health support. But come on, off paper, it's about 2 things, safety and comfort. The man's trying to survive and keep his celebrity skin intact while doing it. Then right after that filing hits the court, Finney's knife to the throat story magically appears online. The timing's almost cinematic, like who's running PR, Netflix. And as if that wasn't enough chaos, Donald Trump randomly jumps into the mix, telling everyone that Diddy will soon reach out, asking for a pardon because they were very close friends.
Back when you hosted The Apprentice, you mentioned once in 2012 that Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Still, sources swore he's considering it because the current White House barely shut it down and Trump seemed open to it.
I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking.
So let's connect the dots. Diddy's team wants him out of Brooklyn. A knife attack story conveniently drops. And previously, Trump's name was being floated like a golden ticket. To most people, it's too convenient and coordinated. So let's ask the real question. Was Diddy actually attacked, or did his camp just pull off one of the slickest sympathy plays we've seen in years? Because if you line up the dates, it all starts looking way too clean. Appeal pending, transfer request filed, pardon rumors swirling, and then suddenly he woke up with a knife to his throat. Like, come on, the story hits every mark it needs to, paints Diddy as the victim, paints the jail as a death trap, and flips the whole public mood from he's paying for his crimes to get him out before he dies. It's the perfect emotional pivot. And let's not act brand new, sympathy sells fast. In the court of public opinion, being the wounded one always beats being the villain. A credible danger headline can get judges moving faster than a stack of legal briefs ever could. But if this attack didn't really happen, then it's just another manipulation tactic, a calculated pity grab dressed up as a cry for help. And that's where Finney's role starts looking messy. His loyalty runs so deep it's almost delusional. This man's defended Diddy through every scandal, every accusation, every video leak. To him, Diddy's not flawed, he's misunderstood. But here's the problem. When the guy vouching for your pain refuses to even acknowledge your victims, your story starts sounding weak. Because if your messenger doesn't believe in the truth, how's anyone supposed to believe in your danger? Let's be real, Diddy's been beefing with this judge since since day one. His whole team swears Judge Subramanian went off script, punishing him for stuff the jury didn't convict him of. They say the man got too emotional, especially when he started talking about Cassie's case, and that's where it got messy, because the judge didn't just sentence him, he made a statement. He said, loud and clear, that he wanted to send a message that violence against women comes with real consequences. Now, that might sound noble on paper, but in the courtroom, that's a longer leash for Diddy's lawyers. They jumped on it immediately. Their spin was, he's not sentencing a man, he's using a celebrity to prove a point. So imagine this, they take that shiny new knife to the throat story and toss it back at the judge like a boomerang. You locked him up in one of the most dangerous prisons in the country. Now look what happened. Suddenly the story isn't just about Diddy getting attacked. It's about the system failing him. If the judge looks negligent, that's gold for an appeal. Doesn't even have to be proven. It just has to sound believable. And yet, outside those courtroom walls, nobody's buying it. 50 Cent is still roasting him every other post. Fans are calling cap. And even people who once defended Diddy are rolling their eyes. Because no matter how many sad stories his team drops, the streets still see one thing: a man who's not facing his mess, just playing the system like it's another remix. But here's the truth, nobody really wants to say out loud. Whether that knife story's real or not, it did exactly what it needed to do. Diddy's name is back in the lights. He's trending again. Headlines, hashtags, think pieces, love him or hate him. He's running the narrative from a cell. At this point, Diddy's fighting on three fronts: the legal war against Judge Subramanian and the prosecutors who won't let up. The physical one, trying to stay alive in one of the wildest jails in the country. And the public one, the never-ending court of opinion where every headline's a verdict. Clearly, Diddy could either be scared or playing us. Maybe it's both. But one thing's certain, nobody hustles survival like Diddy. He's been reinventing himself his whole life, and even behind bars. The man's still spinning the story. But until we see real proof, not some blurry screenshots or "my cousin works at MDC" posts, all we've got are whispers. And if there's one thing we've learned about Diddy, those whispers are never just noise. They're usually a little too close to the truth. And before long, they explode into full-blown legal drama.